The red light blinked on. The hum of the studio dimmed beneath the silence that preceded every major live segment. Cameras rolled, millions tuned in, sipping their morning coffees, still half in dreams, waiting for the news to tell them what to think. On this particular Thursday, Good Morning Britain felt electric. Something was brewing behind the smiles and scripted banter. Co-hosts sat poised, but Susanna Reid had a look that meant business, a quiet storm behind her composed demeanor. Across from her sat Labour Minister Peter Holbrooke, freshly appointed and eager to charm the public. He had the politician's sheen, immaculate suit, buzzword-heavy vocabulary, and that careful grin used to dodge accountability. The topic was one that had stirred the nation for weeks: skyrocketing rent prices, collapsing NHS wait times, and the scandal surrounding a leaked memo on delayed energy subsidies. Susanna leaned forward, notes in hand, but eyes locked on Peter like a hawk watching its prey shift nervously in the grass. "You've said," she began crisply, "that the government is doing everything it can to support the British people during this crisis. But let's look at the facts." She rattled off a list: numbers, testimonies, damning headlines. Peter shifted. The studio's artificial warmth did little to combat the heat rising on his collar. "Well, Susanna, with respect, it's easy to cherry-pick figures." "No, Minister," she cut in, her voice now flint. "It's not cherry-picking. It's journalism." The co-host beside her raised an eyebrow. The director behind the scenes gave a silent fist pump. Twitter was already lighting up. Peter gave the textbook smile of a man trying to remember his media training. "We mustn't forget the broader picture: our recovery post-pandemic, the global economic pressures, the ongoing conflict but people aren't living in the broader picture, are they? They're living in moldy flats, they're skipping meals, they're watching their loved ones die on waiting lists. This is the reality you're asking them to applaud." Peter faltered. "We understand the hardship. That's why we're committed to long-term—" And then it came. 7 words, calm, cold, and delivered like a guillotine. "Commitment doesn't pay the heating bill, Minister." Silence. Even the hum of the studio seemed to vanish. Peter Holbrooke blinked, stunned. For a moment, he looked like a man who had forgotten where he was. The camera zoomed slightly closer to his face, classic GMB drama. His mouth opened, closed. No words came. Susanna Reid didn't flinch. The audience at home erupted. Hashtags exploded across social media. Hashtag 7 words trended within the hour. Political analysts scrambled to spin it. Newspapers cleared front pages. Memes were born. By noon, the clip had gone viral in over 30 countries. Inside Parliament, MPs watched it on their phones, some with glee, others with grimace. Backbenchers whispered about reshuffles. A few ministers privately admitted, "She's got a point." Peter Holbrooke emerged from the interview a changed man, less polished, more aware. He declined the green room snacks and left the studio quietly, escorted not by Abe's, but his thoughts. As for Susanna, she returned to her desk like nothing had happened. Just another morning on Good Morning Britain. Just another politician reminded that, beneath the makeup and morning smiles, she had teeth, and she knew exactly when to use them. And from that day on, whenever a minister came to the GMB studio, they came a little more prepared and a lot more nervous, because they all remembered those 7 words and the woman who dared to say them.